Play a clip. But I was very offended because So Thorough Joe Burrow released a clip. I couldn't believe this. But Karmic recently did a show where I guess, after saying that he wanted to do a show with me, I guess I'm a target now. Keanu and Gino are on the level of a Johnny Crutches type person. And they're like retarded. Like, they do shows where they cover stuff, but they don't understand anything. They're wrong about everything. They mix facts up. They just scream when they get frustrated and don't have anything to say. But then Kiki gets her mother on, which, I mean, no offense, she looks like ground up assholes mushed back together to form a human. And her mother's really got nothing to offer. Remember when Kiki and her mother were bragging about signing a deal with a podcast network? What happened? What happened? And if you don't believe she doesn't have talent and has no business doing this, I mean, how many times has she had opportunities to really pull in an audience and show them what she's got? That one Gabe Hoffman thing, she had over 2,000 people watching at one point. She's back to getting nobody watching. Her show last night has 500 views on it. It's absolute trash. And then she thinks to herself, what would help this show out? My hideous mother. I love to bring my fucking ghoul of a mom out. And basically, she's just complaining to her mom that nobody likes her. But I saw this clip in my feed this morning. I think you'll enjoy it.
WATP. I was trying to be very diplomatic and very nice. And I had a great time with him, Adam Bush.
Look at this mom. She's like blue-green. The makeup is caked on. You could shred cheese on that hair. She's just the kind of nasty chick you pick up in a backwoods bar. And the next morning when you kick her out, you remind her to peel her face off your pillow and take it with her. Just like, ugh. And it took her hours to get this good. Like, she thinks she's rocking it. There is a tube of makeup squeezed out on this canvas. Ooh.
His wife, Jenny Jingles, during the Content Hotel.
You ever been on the Haunted Mansion ride? I think she's one of the ghosts dancing down in the ballroom. She's almost transparent. You can almost see the background through her head.
Right. They got there. Carl admittedly barely came out of his room because he was diligently looking at clips to pull up of Steel Toe.
Preparing content? At Content Hotel? No. Get out of here. Gino and I just showed up and did nothing. Gino and I just showed up. Gino and I just showed up unprepared and did the talk.
Okay. As if that's what this would be about. Their grave mistake is that he was embarrassed that they were the one live event. Sorry. And it probably hurt their feelings that this show, the one with me, Gino, Kumia, Chrissy, it was all people there just to have fun. And the stand-up show, everybody did great.
So Kiki's assertion is that everyone was there to see Kiki and Gino and Kumia, and nobody was there to see WTP, and that probably hurt Carl's feelings. It was a weird event where Carl was like the only show there. Everyone else, again, just showed up low effort and did some live streams. Kiki did a live stream from her hotel room where she showed everybody how gross the bedspread was and told everybody that the weather was too cold to swim. She doesn't understand why Carl didn't just show up and wing it.
Said it on their show. And they were there. It was very packed in the room, but Carl is used to Patty Melty, Hackamania deal, like where he thinks that Carl's
used to Hackamania. We've had 2 in 2 years. But Carl's used to that. Yeah, and his shows in Boston, and his shows in Florida, and his shows in Detroit. You're right. He's used to crowds packed. He's used to an audience. You got him, Kiki. You really got him. Carl's used to like an audience, and that just wasn't the vibe at Content House.
He's living in this world that he thinks that everybody gives a shit about Aaron Imholt.
He's not living in a world where he thinks everyone gives a shit about Aaron Imholt. He's living in a world where he thinks his audience gives a shit about Aaron Imholt. Far more people will see the recorded show he did at Content Hotel than the people who saw it at Content Hotel. And he's not about to fucking subvert his own show to cater to doing nothing to idiots.
He was embarrassed that there weren't that many ticket sales for it, and Eugene fell asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I got to associate with the bottom feeders of the internet.
Yeah, instead he's just like.
So look at this room. Compare this to Hackamania. You know, again, Carl bragging for months. We're performing in a theater. Yeah, most theaters I know of turn the house lights off when the show starts. This is a lounge. This is a lounge at a retirement home. It's crazy to call this a theater. And we want an apology, Carl.
Made some jokes. Yes, I shouted out from the audience. It's not a heckle. It made the show better, in my opinion.
So this is Keanu, professional touring comedian. Her and Gino tour around the country. She's like, yeah, I was shouting out and heckling, but I made the show better. This is the ideology of every drunk heckler on the planet. I'll help. I'll make the show better. I'll shout out. Pro comic Keanu. Yeah, I was making the show better, shouting. Right.
But it's just not the place to come and like do this like weird steel toe material. And I could tell
this weird steel toe material. Again, who's got weird material? You, who gets 17 live viewers every night. And I mean every night. Or Carl, who covers steel toe, which again, a dozen shows cover and get 1,000 times more viewers than you get. Which material would be considered normal and which material would be considered weird? Again, imagine booking WATP for your event and then getting upset when they come do WATP there. You've seen WATP, right? It's probably what he's going to come do. Why don't you tell us what people are into, Kiki? Are they into you sitting around kvetching to your old mom? There's 9 shows that do better than you covering steel toe. I think Carl's onto something. I think Carl might be onto something. I think people do enjoy that coverage. Everyone does better than you. Show us what people like in a show, stupid. Is this it? Are you doing it now? Carl thinks everyone cares about steel toe. No, just his audience. The sentiment here is, I can't believe Carl came out and did WATP. What was he thinking? Why didn't he do something totally different?
Okay. And it just wasn't the event for that.
Correct. I do agree with that. I don't know why Chrissie said, come out and do your show. It wasn't the kind of event where shows were happening. It was a kind of event where everyone sat around drinking on camera with no plan. So you are right. Carl did seem wildly out of place. You know, at Hackamania, nobody, when Carl goes up on stage with everybody and starts doing a show, nobody in the crowd went, what's going on now? What is this? Huh. Are they doing a show in here? This is crazy. That's the kind of event Content Hotel was. When professionals showed up to do their show, everybody went, what's going on? I thought the 15 of us were just sitting here drinking. Oh, this is out of place. I agree. I don't know what Chrissie was thinking. You know, it's like why we would never invite Chad to Hackamania or Kiki and Gino for that matter. What's their show? They'd be the odd man out. At an event where everyone has a prepared show and gives a fuck and is trying to put on a show, they'd be out of place. Oh, I didn't know we had to I didn't know this was due today. It's like, what would KIKI's show be live on a stage? What would that be? What would Chad's show be live on a stage? Spider-Man? Right.
So, I mean, for Christ's sake, Gino fell asleep during the event. I don't know if you saw this.
Gino's an alcoholic drunk. If he ain't sleeping, he's puking. If he ain't puking, he's sleeping.
So Chrissy goes, how about I get Rich to come on the show? And then Rich goes, oh, I'll just have to see how I feel after I golf. And then, but that's just Rich Voss, okay? He's a comedian.
Oh, teach us about comedy, Kiki. Let me write that down. Rich Voss is a comedian. Got it.
And then Carl goes, you don't, whatever. We don't need you.
Right. He's planning a show. So if all a guy can give him is, I may show up, I may not, Carl's going to come up with a different plan and move on. We don't need maybes. We don't need maybes. You hear that, Dr. Steve?
Because a group full of people, the only tickets you probably sold, Carl, for that event were people wanting to see Anthony. So you would think that.
So again, imagine this shot. Now, Carl has an event sold out tomorrow night, hundreds of people. Carl did an event in Boston, hundreds of people. Carl did an event in Florida, hundreds of people. Hackamania, hundreds of people. KIKI is doing a dig here. You couldn't even sell tickets, Carl. Throw an event. Throw an event. We'd love to see it. We'd love to see. Gino will be sleeping. Come on out. Buy a ticket. Throw an event, you stupid whore. Please, please throw an event. We'll wait. Show us how to sell tickets, Kiki. Show us how. We're all lost. We don't know. Teach us how to do it. Carl's probably mad because he couldn't even sell tickets. Yeah, if I had a show on the Isle of Man, I can guarantee I wouldn't sell tickets either. That's where this was, right? In a relaxing Northwoods atmosphere up in fucking New York State. Carl invited Rich, and Rich was like, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I might go play golf. And then Carl said, well, good, fuck yourself. It's just a guy who knows how to put on a show and plan for a show. He's not going to wait around to see if Rich feels like doing it. And then once the plan's in place, Rich can't show up and go like, I can't believe they didn't want me. I can't believe they kicked me out. I'm Rich Voss. I'm a comedy legend. I performed in every Starbucks on the walkover. Oh, yeah. 2009 was awesome.
Carl wants to impress, people, I don't know, in his little boxes in the Dabbleverse. And that just wasn't.
Yeah, that's his audience. Carl was doing a show for his audience. What a loser. What were you doing? What were you doing? Shall we watch your hotel room show, you stupid slut?
What it was about.
Who is your show for? People looking for Halloween costume ideas?
I don't know anything about him. I've just been introduced to him recently, like when you were on.
And then again, this is how it's like Johnny Crutches. I don't really know what we're talking about or who we're talking about, but I'd love to offer an unsolicited opinion with absolutely no knowledge or research. I'd love to tell you my opinion, which means nothing because I'm not familiar with any of this. Go ahead. Pet your daughter. Go ahead. Soothe your little girl.
All those morons, and he was kind of sitting back while they beat you up, but he was had a dumb look on his face.
So even her mom perceived that this little piggy show is us beating her up. She goes around telling everybody, I trounced them. I destroyed those guys. I won. I made them all look stupid. Even her mom let that slip. They all beat you up.
Yes, and he just sat there and didn't say word one in your defense or even be nice to you. He just had that dumb smile on his face.
Well, your daughter was acting retarded. It's hard for anybody to raise their hand and be like, I'm with the slow girl.
He's like, oh, I don't know what to say.
And you kept saying you like him, and he's kind of a friend. He's no friend.
No, and he hates that I won that entire thing.
He does. Carl can't stop texting me about it. I can't believe KIKI won. Won what?
It was 6 against 1, and I won. It was me.
Seems,
Oh my God.
he seems, just from what I hear or know.
What is this bruise on her cheek? Is she being beaten? Jesus, holy Steven Tyler. You know, like, is it a mustache? What's happening here? And again, I guarantee it's all crusty and hard, all of it. The hair, the face. And Kiki's starting to look like her too. The cigarettes are working.
No. So I was trying to be nice. I said I had fun. I didn't fall asleep. It was fine. I was there for about half of it. I chimed in, blah, blah, blah. I was having a ball. Like, it's great. I'm here, whatever. So then I walk outside with Chrissy. Rich Voss walks up to us after he was shooed away. And he says, what the f is that? I can't believe I've never in my life been shooed away from.
Again, she thinks she's helping Rich. Rich couldn't get over it. Rich was fucked up after that. Rich kept going like, I've never been, She thinks she's helping Rich look good.
A podcast. When I walk into a podcast, people veer off of their little clips and go, yeah, let's have fun. Like, what are you doing? And I said, he's not a comic. He is thinking that people know who this man from Minnesota is. He's like, and it brought the thought to my mind where it's like, if Rich Voss walks into Compound Media, do you think they're going to go, no, Rich? If Rich Voss walked in.
Rich and Anthony are friends and have something to talk about. Carl isn't friends with Rich Voss. Carl doesn't need Rich Voss. Carl blows Rich Voss out of the water when it comes to making money online and doing content. That's a fact. Keanu can't wrap her head around it because she gets 17 viewers. So she's like, that'd be a pretty good day for me if Rich Voss showed up. That'd be amazing. We might get a couple hundred viewers. Carl's like, this will bring my show down. Carl's fine. The clips of that show have gotten all the views and all the money that Carl gets off his shows. She can't wrap her head around it. She can't wrap her head around it that Carl is above Rich when it comes to doing this.
Into a Kumia show, do you think they go, no, Rich? If Rich Voss walked into a Legion of Skanks show, they go, no.
No, they're all comics who know Rich and work with Rich and have something to talk about. Also, they don't do structured shows. These are all loose hang shows. So go on. What do you think would happen if Rich Voss showed up at CNN? You think they'd just cancel the news and shoot the shit? You're dumb.
Have to talk about Aaron Imholt now and Stuttering John. Get out. No.
Sorry, we don't have time for you.
We don't have time for you.
He doesn't.
It would never happen.
Right.
So, and it was an embarrassment. And I'm not making...
For Rich. For Rich. You've made that very clear. It was embarrassing for Rich. I think Carl's fine. Carl has a banger of a show tomorrow night that's sold out. I think he'll be okay. Where's Rich Voss? The funny fuck?
It up. He literally came up to us and was like, I've never been treated.
Rich Voss will do 5 shows this weekend at Uncle Vinny's, and Carl will do 1 show tomorrow night at the Magic Bag. Who do you think will make more money? Who do you think will get more views? Rich across his 5 shows with 200 people in the crowd every show, or Carl doing 1 show and putting it up online? She can't wrap her head around that. She can't do the math on that. Local comics here make fun of me. They're like, Melton doesn't even come out and do shows. You're right. I know you got an open mic at a Thai restaurant where 50 people are watching you and you're getting paid with wings. I'm just going to go live and have hundreds of people watch. How about that?
like this. So of course, after the fact, I'm like, that was a failure. Of course, they rag on Aaron so much. I have to call Aaron and tell him.
So this is great. You know, Aaron was like, I was getting updates and calls from people reporting on the event. We all knew it was KIKI. Again, this is what all she ever wants. She's like Chad. She wants to be relevant. She wants to have something that people need. So I was calling Aaron. She was at this event with her friend having so much fun. She kept stepping out and calling Aaron and reporting what was going on. Admitting it here. I had to call Aaron and tell him. You did? Aaron, you're not going to believe these losers. They're the losers, not us. Right, Aaron? Right, Aaron? Yeah. As if she wasn't at Aaron's event with 60 people. You guys know what you are. You guys know you're not a draw. The fucking cope.
He shooed Rich Voss away, and it was embarrassing.
For Rich!
And I wouldn't have just gone around and said that. I didn't say it to anybody, but all they do is cover Aaron.
It's all they do. It's all they do. And Opie and Stuttering John. Pretty sure Carl covers all kinds of people. There's a million clips I don't click on because I don't know who they are. This is Aaron Imholt thinks this. All he does is cover me. All he does is cover me. As if people don't sit in my chat for hours going, get to toe, get to toe. I wonder what I'm doing for those other hours. I wonder what I've done all week long. All he does is cover Aaron. This is a paranoid mindset. Again, they think Schizo Sean came out to record them. No, Schizo Sean came to Hackamania. Was that to record me? Was that to record Carl? They can't fathom it. They think everyone sent somebody. Everyone's after them. They're victims. They're victims hard.
So I'm just laughing about it. Like, I can't even believe what I just witnessed. And then I have the man telling me I've never been treated like that.
How many times has she thrown Rich Ross under the bus like this? Rich Ross wouldn't shut up about it. He kept telling me like he's so offended. He's so hurt.
He doing? That's bizarre. So then I go out to the bar and Carl is sitting there with Adam Bush and whatever, some other lick twerp that tried to talk to me about steel toe. I'm like, you need to relax. Like, this is not you. It's going to be okay. And Carl's sitting there. He looks still, mom. This is an.
Oh boy. Did that lizard just lick her lip?
And Carl's sitting there. He looks still, mom.
Hold on. I want to see something. Okay, we got that. Now, keep this image in your mind. Just keep this image. Just remember this. Okay? Burn that into your retinas. Okay? And then let's have a look at this. I see it. Do you see it? Yeah, I see it. Those poor unfortunate souls.
This is an hour after Carl's little poorly sold podcast about Aaron and Stuttering John.
Again, you know, the spin on this. Carl's little poorly sold show. Again. Imagine being so insecure you have to spin it like that. She's acting like her show's above Carl's. Carl's little show. Carl's poor little show. Yes.
Where he literally shooed Rich Voss away. So I sit down next to him, and he almost had tears in his eyes, Mom. And before I could even get a word out, he said, I know you're going to go back to Kevin Brennan and tell him all about this. Kevin Brennan, which, well, now I am.
You were going to anyway. You were calling Aaron from the event because you couldn't. It's your only relevance. The only relevance you have is reporting back to bigger shows and going on bigger shows. I'll go tell Aaron about this, and then I'll get petted from Aaron. I'll go tell KB about this, and then I'll get pets from KB. That's what you do. Don't pretend for 1 minute you weren't going to do that. You know you were. They're so pathetic. They thought I was going to report back to Aaron. You and Gino are so pathetic. You thought that I sent this guy, Schizo Sean, to your event to film you. Who's paranoid? Carl was probably bang on. You know you're going to go talk to Kevin about this. It's all you have. And then what they did, Kevin? And then what they did? Adam Bush. Carl running Voss off was hilarious and exactly the kind of joke Rich appreciates. Yeah, and also he didn't run him off. You guys had that little exchange about Jews, and like, you know, what did he say? There was a whole exchange going on. I wasn't on Palestine side until now. Like, again, he didn't like just kick him off immediately. There was a quick exchange of banter, and then they got back to the show. I don't think that's the real Adam Bush.
Well, now Kevin will hear it. That was not, I was just going to say, good show, buddy. He, with tears in his eyes, Mom. I just said,
Carl came up to her with tears in his eyes. I mean, just like Carl, don't like Carl. You know, half the reason people hate Carl is because of his laugh and his teeth. Because he's always happy and chipper. I've never seen Carl cry. But Keanu wants you to think Carl came up to her crying.
Sat down. I'm like, I was about to say, good show, man. Like, no. And he went, I know what you're going to do. You're going to go tell Kevin.
You're going to go tell Kevin, aren't you? Don't. That's what Carl did? Right.
Brennan about all of this, and it was a disgrace, and it was poorly sold, and nobody.
People who hate Carl don't believe this.
Was there, and I went, bro, I had a ball. Like, I'm not gonna.
Again, I had fun. That's their answer to everything about this event. What do you mean it sucked? I had fun.
Go tell
you're not that person. They're what the.
And he was literally.
But do I understand this correctly that he is saying mean shit about you now?
Oh, now he's.
Can you believe it? All I did was go on KB's show and read personal texts. I can't believe Carl would ever take shots at me.
Just saying mean shit about the content house,
No.
how hotel, how, you know, Adam Bush couldn't get there easily enough. And
I can't believe they said that. They should have been honest about how easy Adam Bush got there. They should have been honest. I can't believe they said that it was hard for Adam Bush to get there. That's fucked up. I can't believe that they said it was prohibitive to attend because of the location. That's fucked up. Now it's on. I get it, Kiki. Now tell me you don't believe Adam Bush over Keanu here. Listen to this.
Remember what he said? No, if you bring up Melton, they spit on the ground.
Darren Steven even just.
Whoa, Gino's there? Because he hadn't said a word this entire clip. But you brought up Melton, and then Gino started spurging out and yelling. Sounds exactly like what Adam Bush said. If you bring up Melton, they lose their minds. I mean, you just proved the point. Gino's lit up now because you said Melton. He didn't say a word about Carl. He didn't say a word about any of this. The minute you said Melton, you all, right. But you don't care. You didn't bring me up to anybody. Carl said you kept bringing me up to people. People said you would bring up your nudes and Melton. And remember, you were paranoid about Melton sent Schizo Sean here. Melton sent Schizo Sean here. Aaron, too. They're nuts. They're nuts. Anybody going to believe that they don't spiral when you mention Melton? Again, watch this happen.
If you bring up Mersh, I'm sorry, Mersh. Can't even remember what he said. No, if you bring up Melton, they spit on the ground.
Garrett and Steve even just said, you know,
We didn't bring them up at all. Him up at all. Not at all.
He's just another liar.
I know.
But if
Yeah.
you hang out with them in real life and try and be nice, and they're comfortable in their boxes, but they can't make eye contact. They all have some.
We're comfortable in our boxes. That's why Carl does way more live events than you. That's why I attend way more live events than you. Because we're comfortable in our boxes. This is what Aaron Emholt does. He never leaves his basement. Except for the dozen times a year he goes out and meets the public.
Form of autism.
I was nothing but nice to them. I was nothing but
Always, Keanu. You're always gracious. Always.
right. And I knew that they were going to bring me up a bunch. And I'm going like, well, that's just a bull.
You're right. Schizo Sean said they yelled at Sean about me. Out of nowhere. They just started yelling at them. Like, you're going to Melton. You're going to send this to Melton. You're yelling. You're saying Carl cried to you that you're going to go to MLC. When you cried to Sean, you're going to show this to Melton. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Old-faced lie that me and Gino spit on the ground. And when he asked me, like, I do remember this because we had a conversation about it. And I said, this is what I said, what's your problem with Patrick Melton? I said, he says violent things about me. His fans say violent things to me.
Violent. I say violent things about her.
Play the clip. Play the clip.
I say violent things about her. There's one explanation for this. It hurts them so bad, and they're so insecure and stupid, they receive it as violence. Now, Gino talked about how he should have beat up Schizo Sean. He should have dragged him behind a dumpster and beat his ass. But I say violent things about Kiki. No, I say Kiki's dumb. I say Kiki's dumb. Hello.
Yeah, listen, I don't want to interrupt the show. I know I've been calling too much, but can I say something about this situation with her, please?
You can.
Okay. Do you see what she's doing here? This slut thinks everybody's as retarded as her and Gino. I'm going to tell you what happened. I wasn't even there, and I know nothing, and I'm going to tell you how I figured this whore out. Carl said to her, hey, listen, I don't appreciate the fact that you read my private texts on Kevin Brennan's show. And now what she's trying to do is she's spinning the story that he goes to her, oh, what, are you going to go tell Kevin Brennan? Instead of saying, he said, oh, what are you going to do, read my text on Kevin and Brennan again? In other words, Carl tried to go to her like an adult and say, look, I really don't appreciate that. You know, when we talk off air is off air. You know, we text each other. She's trying to position herself once again as she's the victim. Somehow now she dismissed Carl. Carl dismissed her by telling, hey, look, asshole, I don't know what you're doing with Steel Toe or whatever, but I didn't appreciate what you did. And she's now going to try, just like Aaron, she's now shifting the story 180 degrees where she dismissed him because he does a show about Aaron. It comes through in everything that she says. If you ever want to know what's going on in this fucking empty coconut she has of a head, all you have to do is listen to her. She projects everything she's feeling, she projects on somebody else.
Yep.
Everything she's feeling. Just like, I'll give you a perfect example, and I'm going to let you go because I hate the sound of my own voice. She was on Chip Chipperson. Jim Norton made this whore. Over the pandemic, no one knew who she was. No one knew where she came from before Jim Norton.
And
Jim
now,
Norton, I love
no
the
one
guy.
still
Love
knows
the
who
guy.
she is.
Made a career on making pedophile jokes. Uncle Paul Hogg is some of his best stuff. She somehow wants to put herself on this fucking pedestal where she's going to judge you. He made some horrendous, sick comments about Aaron's daughter. Jim Norton was talking about the Far Side cartoon fucking thing, and he was making captions saying there's a bloody bassinet. Oh, what happened to the baby? I fucked it to death. That's not a problem because everybody knows it's a joke, just like when you said cup holder. This fucking idiot doesn't understand we're all onto her. We see what you're doing. That Jedi shit doesn't work on me. Where you're going to spin it around. You're the victim. Jason Scoop. They made fun of me being a victim of domestic. No one ever did that. No one ever did that.
And again,
All
she
you all
wants
said,
to yell
all-
at Nick about reading text, but she can read all the text she wants, and her excuse for that
Bro,
is
this
I was being funny.
this broad, it's unfucking believable. She made a big deal because you repeated a fucking rumor that I told you that the entire everybody in New York's heard. It went all the way down to other fucking podcast hosts are like, yeah, everyone knows that story. We've all heard that story. But yet her husband can go on and talk about a mother with 5 children every fucking day, the shit that he says about this woman when he's not personally involved. He's the only person that involved Gino Bisconti was Aaron fucking Imholt by sending him the picture.
Just to
Then
be,
her
just
and
to
him
be clear,
both want to work on this fucking guy. Then when they found out that they're worthless, when Gavin gave them his fucking walking papers because they're worthless, they had nothing left to grab onto but this guy, and now they're going to go down with this sinking ship. No problem.
just to be
when we're done
clear,
with Aaron, we'll move on to them.
could the story you're talking about? Could you recap that? The story everybody knows.
Yeah. The story is that Keanu apparently, again, rumor, I can't prove this. I don't have any proof. It's a fucking rumor. And the rumor is that Keanu would hang out late night at fucking comedy clubs, and mysteriously, whoever had fucking cocaine, Keanu would go home with. And they would fucking get high and fuck or whatever, and it's that the other thing. And I tried to ask an honest question. I asked her in the chat one time. I said, Keanu, she was answering me back. I said, listen, if the story is not true, say it's not true, and people will stop saying it. Then when her fucking husband was on with Cardiff last week, I tried to be a gentleman and ask him. I said, listen, bro, what's the story? Do you have an open marriage, or does Keanu just straight up cheat? I tried to give the guy a chance to answer the fucking question, and again, he wants to deflect and everything else. Say,
So
listen, I feel bad for the guy.
The allegations,
He's gypsy, but I feel bad for him.
Just to be clear, the allegations are this was all happening while she was with Gino, and it was a joke even around Compound Media. Anthony would tease Gino about other dudes fucking her.
That is correct. I don't know now. Let me just say this. I don't know if they were married at the time, but the reason I know she was with Gino, because the part of the story when the guy said the funniest part of the story is they'd be standing there and fucking Gino would come up like, Gino fucking thinking he's a tough guy, high-fiving everybody. When he went inside, they would all laugh. Yeah, fuck you, jerk off, because they all know the story. So he was obviously with her. Why would they be laughing at Gino about the story about her if she wasn't with him? They're laughing at him because they were together. Listen, she's got a lot of stories like this. She's got a Michael Rappaport story.
She doesn't
I'm
seem.
not going into that.
She doesn't seem
I'm not
like.
going into that one because Michael Rappaport will probably sue me. I'm not going into that. But there's a Michael Rappaport story with her.
She doesn't seem like the promiscuous type. Come on.
No, not at all. Not at all. You didn't see her in a Wonder Woman fucking costume like they were all on Lesbos Island, that white fucking dress running around at that fucking Dago flop house?
Also, we all saw it on video when she walked out to Jim Stansel outside a comedy club and was like, "Did you find coke?"
Yeah. It's always, you ever notice it's always the people with the fucking biggest glass house that are always throwing fucking boulders at other people. It's always somebody like, you're like, wait a minute, like if you would have just, bro, nobody started with this woman. And I can tell you from personal experience, if you go back and watch her dumb show when she turned on toe and started telling the truth, I gave this stupid bitch $100. I was the first fucking person to give her money. Said, hey, Kiki, we love you. It's about time. You telling the truth. She rode that fucking wave and then got full of herself and became a nut job. So everybody from this community is like, fuck this broad. She's nuts.
Well, look,
and she had nowhere to go but back to toe.
We are going to need a $100 donation for you as an apology for that. And thank you for calling in.
10-4. Talk to you later.
Bye.